Hey, what's up, Roxstars? It's Rox with a little bit of talk about what's at the top of the blog, so let's get to it. I say I'm gonna take some time off, y'all.
All the cashiers, they was like, somebody stole her truck. It was like you could hear it all throughout the store.
This Rox coming to you today with a review for Love and Marriage Detroit, Love and Marriage Huntsville, our book 4, Real Housewives of Atlanta. Let's get to it, shall we? Guys, first story up. So Kanye West, child, I don't know why Kanye is actually opening a top of the blogs when I said that I was going to retire him. So we won't be on this story long, you guys. You guys saw that Kanye recently released, well, I don't know if he actually released the song. I have not heard the song itself, but I did see a tweet where he was talking about releasing a song that's going to be coming out by the name of Cousins. And apparently he's talking about a cousin of his, a grown cousin, a big older cousin of his who's now in jail, who's serving a life sentence apparently for killing like some pregnant woman back in the day. Okay, this is what Kanye told us. But in the song, apparently he's talking about him and his cousin having sex with each other. He said that he was giving his cousin a blowjob for many years. They would go through his parents' closets or whatever, and his parents would hide magazines. His father would hide Playboy magazines. They would find the magazines, and then they would do things to each other. So he was having like sexual, I don't know if they were having like penetration or anything like that, but it would be like blowjobs and the such with his cousin now. And so I guess that is supposed to be something that is supposed to garner like attention from us, sympathy from us. And maybe that's supposed to explain the reason why Kanye West has been on a perpetual crash out just forever. Like, I don't even know. I mean, I guess what we can, if we was gonna take it all the way back to when Kanye first started tripping, was when he had his breakdown on stage, when all that shit happened, when Kim got robbed and all that. Like, that was the first sign that something was not all the way right with Kanye West. And the nigga ain't been right ever since. Yes, it's unfortunate. It's very tragic. I'm sure it's traumatic when you have been in these type of situations with family members. Many times cousins will, in that sexual exploratory type of age where because you're with your cousins all the time, and you guys are, exploring together, you will hear of stories of cousins fooling around, touching, trying to see that kind of thing with each other when they're young. Okay, so Kanye is talking about, he's talking about it wasn't just that it went a step further, and like they were like in some sort of relations and all, and that it has affected him. I'm just sick of Kanye. Kanye tells us it's always something with Kanye. Now Kanye says that he was diagnosed autistic. Before it was bipolarism. I mean, we've given him a pass because we knew that his mother's death affected him quite a bit. We've heard him talk about he likes Hitler, and he's called Jay-Z and Beyonce's kid the R word, and he's paraded his naked wife around the country, the world, I should say, and he's gotten into beefs with people over no reason. He started shit with people for no reason. He got up there and made the world love Taylor Swift. That's not what he was trying to do, but that's what I feel like that's what ended up happening. Kanye West has done so many things. It's all in the name of getting a look. It's all in the name of us trying to feel something for him. I don't even think that he cares if you feel like he's crazy. As long as you feel something for him, he has to feel that energy. In this case, you know, if he was having sex with his cousin and if it has affected him even into his adult stage, then nigga, go get some therapy. Okay, why do we all need to know about what happened with you and your cousin? All right, why? Why is it that you are doing all of the things that you do? Because you just want everybody to, I don't know. But we tired of Kanye. I know that he has an album coming out. I think he has an album coming. And so this is what he resorts to. It's like his surefire way of getting people to listen to his music. Because now all the gimmick, you know, he like, it's like Kanye has turned into like a gimmick. Like, you were so musically, you know, I was one of those people that was willing to give him the genius title when it came to music. I was really one of those people that was willing to do it. But, child, you just can't, what is wrong with you? What is wrong with Kanye? Child, something's wrong with Kanye. There's really something wrong with him. So now that is, you know, the whole thing with the cousin thing, you know, now he is playing on the sympathies of people who might have truly, not truly, because he could have went through that. I'm not saying that he's lying about this, but I'm saying that he's playing on the sympathies of people who've been through this as well. So now they're going to feel sorry for you. So if it isn't true, you're trying to get sorry for a story that you lying about, and then if it is true, it's just sort of like, and so why are you telling us all this? Because what is this supposed to do for any of us now that we know that you and your cousin was, you know, giving each other blowjobs or whatever until you were 14 years old? You know, that Kanye is tiresome. He is tiring, and I know that Kim Kardashian, that she's made quite a few very good business decisions in her life, but the decision to have 4 kids with that nigga, I know, okay, that she got to be rethinking that. Well, I'm sure she love her babies, but child, please, he is so much. Hell, the nigga was just in a damn Ku Klux Klan robe and hat, all black, interviewing with DJ Academics. You a clown for sitting up there with him in that interview. Like, how did you even feel serious trying to even set up the room to sit down and talk to him while he sat across from you with that mess on? Just craziness. Anyway, y'all, that's that on that. Kanye, I mean, it's unfortunate. I want him to get therapy if that's what the situation was with him and his cousin. He hasn't named any names. I'm sure if people really wanted to find out who he might have, who his cousin might be, you know, they could pretty easily find that out. But yeah, Kanye is just Kanyeing. Okay, let's move on to the next story. All right, you guys, so they tell me that Mia made an announcement on Monday officially and said that she is leaving Real Housewives of Potomac. Drat the luck. She said, and I quote, "With every new season comes a new beginning, and I have some news to share. My family and I have made the decision to relocate to Atlanta, and with that, I will not be returning to the Real Housewives of Potomac next season." She gonna be down here with me, y'all. I mean, not in the studio, but I mean, who knows? Some people are asking if she's going to be going to Real Housewives of Atlanta, and I was like, no, Mia wouldn't work out with the Real Housewives of Atlanta cast. That the Real Housewives of Atlanta cast is a special kind of cast. The Real Housewives of Atlanta cast is not even like Potomac, and I know that they are both black women cast. I do know that. But the Atlanta girls is not the Potomac girls. They two totally different things. Mia, they would chew up and spit out Mia. So no, I don't see her going to Atlanta. Not the Real Housewives anyway. She might go on Love and Hip Hop. Isn't she dating wasn't she dating? I think, you know, I told you guys that she now said that she's not dating that guy no more. But, you know, he's a DJ, radio personality, or he's a DJ or whatever he is. Like, he might have been offered a position, you know, on Love and Hip Hop Atlanta, and maybe she might be thinking forward, you know, to all of that, and maybe she might end up on Love and Hip Hop Atlanta. Who knows? Like, I feel like I can see Mia on Love and Hip Hop, and she could take that damn Britt Edie, or whatever her name is on Atlanta Housewives. She can take her with her. Now, Britt would definitely fit on Love and Hip Hop Atlanta. That's where she should have probably been in the first place. And actually Love and Hip Hop Atlanta, even Mia won't. Mia is this is terrible to say. She ain't good enough for Real Housewives of Atlanta and too good for Love and Hip Hop Atlanta. Is that bad to say? But like, I don't see Mia really. I don't know if she would work on any of those. But Britt, definitely Love and Hip Hop Atlanta. I could definitely see that girl there. Because isn't Mia living here in Atlanta already? She told us that she was bi-coastal, remember? I live in Potomac and Atlanta. We was like, girl, it's the same coast. What you talking about, bi-coastal? She's been living down here a lot, so I feel like she's trying to set up for something else. It's just going to be whether or fact people want to see Mia in something else. And I don't know if the draw is all that big. Like I told you, I didn't watch Real Housewives of Potomac last season, so I don't even know. I'm actually surprised that people really didn't like Mia enough for her to lead a show. It was just like, damn, it must have really got bad last season. You know, people have always had their feelings about Mia, but I feel like last season maybe Mia had the people was completely fed up with Mia last season. So yeah. Don't you think that Britt would fit on Love and Hip Hop Atlanta? Shit, Love and Hip Hop Atlanta is all the talk again. It's like the show is doing so well again. I saw that they were on, somebody was doing a review, maybe it was Scotty. I was just happened to be scrolling through YouTube, and the review said season like 13 or some shit, and then it said episode 29. I said, episode fucking 29? Them motherfuckers are still making 29 episodes in a season. You guys, I would be going crazy. Do you guys know that I don't care what show it's been, right around episode 17, 18, I'm about ready to throw in a towel. I can't do it no more. 29, they have at least 30 episodes in one season. Do you know? First of all, them people's making a lot of money. The ones that's on there, you know, like the main characters, like Rasheeda and them, that's why they over there. That's why they not leaving. Because that's a lot of fucking money. 29 episodes, that's a lot of money. I just saw D-Lo and Rasheeda doing an interview with Carlos King. That's what I should have put in my notes. I didn't put it in my notes. But I'm just still like very, very shocked at how Rasheeda now is starting to speak out more. Rasheeda didn't used to speak out as much as she does now, I'm noticing. You know, maybe she's starting to feel herself. She's been on there all this time. I mean, hell, you might as well say it's her show. People used to say it was Jocelyn and Mimi's show, but they ain't been on the show for a long time. So, I mean, I guess we can say that it's Rasheeda and D-Lo's show. And I guess maybe Yandy, the way that Yandy came in from New York, you know, it did kind of feel like New York was trying to take over Atlanta, you know. So maybe the fact that Yandy came into Atlanta and thought she was just going to be running things, maybe Rasheeda started to feel like, oh, hold on, bitch. Like, wait a minute. You know, you ain't fixing to take all the storylines. You know, we the OG dysfunctional couple on this show. Okay? Married couple on this show. So, yeah, now Rasheeda's got having a beef with Yandy, and I just can't believe it. I'm just like, wow. You know, and they just be talking about Yandy not being married, and now Scrappy is chiming in on it, and I was just like, does Scrappy fall out with Yandy and Mindy season them too? Like, what's going on? You know, so it's a lot going on over there. So maybe they could go over there and start up some sort of storyline over there. The only way that I can see Mia going over to Love and Hip Hop Atlanta, though, it would be because of the boyfriend. So she would have to somehow work that relationship back into a story, because, you know, I don't even know did people believe that they really were together or not? I don't know, child. I've been so dialed out of Potomac. I said I was going to review next season. I still need to watch this last season, but I said I was going to go back and watch this season. I was going to review it this season. So Yeah. Anyway, also, while we're talking about Real Housewives, we can also talk about Kelly. They say that Kelly is being sued for not paying the rent of her restaurant. She not paying the owner of the property where her restaurant, Nana's Chicken and Waffles. This is the one that's in Sandy Springs. This is their second location. I don't even know where the first one is. I think they said it's out in McDonough somewhere. I was like, well, that's why, because McDonough is not close. Apparently, the owner of that property is saying that she's sitting on over $100,000 in unpaid rent. So they're saying that Kelly signed the contract back in January of last year, 2024, with the intentions of starting the restaurant there. However, she never started the restaurant. She never stuck to any of the things that she signed the contract for, haven't paid the rent or anything. And so now the owner is just like, not only do they want them to pay, they want them to move. And if they don't pay in a certain time, they want them to also pay the lawyer fees. Kelly is saying that the only reason why nothing has been paid is because this has been gotten caught up in the divorce. She's talking about the divorce on the show. So she was married to the man that she was married to. His name is I got it on here. I did put it in my notes. I cannot find his name. But anyway, she's getting the divorce from the guy, and this is the reason why this hasn't been paid. She said that it will eventually get paid. The restaurant is still scheduled to open. They expect for the restaurant to be open by the summer. But because everything else is getting held up in the divorce proceedings, that's why the restaurant that's why they haven't paid anything either. I guess they're trying to figure out who's going to have to do what there. Now, the owner is saying that they served her multiple notices of default from August of 2024 to March 2025. So just the other day, they was just like, you know what, that is it. They ain't sending no more messages. She owes them $101,140.64. And then, like I said, that she would also have to pay those lawyer fees if she don't pay in time. So that's what's going on with Real Housewives. What do you guys think about Mia leaving? Are you guys going to be sad to see Mia go? I think that it is an opportunity that is missed, because I thought that Mia was a good housewife, but I think that Mia messed up her own opportunity, because instead of being that housewife that could have been likable, she was just one that was lying a lot, always changing her story, all of that. People didn't trust her, and all that. But she had all of the things. She was a wife, had her husband there. Her husband was willing to be on the show too. Like, it was so many things that worked well for Mia. It should have worked well, but Mia just, like, to me, she messed her own self up. Just trying to be too much, lying way too much, and not keeping her story straight. So that is that on that. You guys let me know what you think about all that, and let's move on to the next story. Oh, wait a minute, hold on. Before I move off of Love and Hip Hop Atlanta, let me put this next story here. Karlie Redd. Mama named her Karlie Lewis. Miss Karlie was arrested. I said, Karlie, what? She was arrested and she was charged with burglary in the first degree. And she's being accused of breaking into a private home without permission, and taking several personal items. So they said that on the surveillance cameras that they caught her looking in the windows, that she broke in to this house, I think through the kitchen. She went in there. They say that she took a birth certificate. She went and took a card that belonged to the person that lived in the house, and she took a watch. They haven't released who the owner of the residence was. I'm assuming that it was her soon-to-be ex-husband that she's been in the middle of this divorce proceedings with. They're in a contentious divorce right now, and she probably broke in there to get some of her shit. They said that a warrant for her arrest was placed out there on April 4th, and they went and got her. Her bond was set at $15,000. Okay, that this actually happened back in January of this year, the 13th through the 15th, somewhere in there. That's when she broke in the house and did what she had to do. So, Yeah, Karlie got a whole lot going on over there. I guess we'll see, you know, where this, you know, how this turns out for Karlie. I mean, I didn't realize that it was like serious like this. I mean, are we going to know anything more about all of this part? Was Mona and the cameras with her while she was breaking into the kitchen and stealing the things? I mean, I wouldn't be surprised. I would not be surprised if, you know, Karlie and her, I would not be surprised if Karlie didn't open the door for the camera crew to come on in there while she do what she needed to do. You know, that just seems like something that Karlie would do. Yeah, I'm curious on whose house it was. This is either going to be his house or the side woman's house. Okay, the one who had the baby. So yeah, we'll find out. We'll find out. They haven't even set a court date for her, so we don't know, you know, but when more of this comes up, we'll find out about it because it's going to be in the blogs and it's most likely going to end up on Love and Hip Hop Atlanta in some kind of way anyway, you know, because Karlie loves what? A storyline. Now that her real life has become a full-fledged Love and Hip Hop Atlanta storyline, you know. Shit. So yeah, that's that over there. That's what's going on with Karlie and her man. Child, I'm talking about Karlie Redd too fucking much. Next story. So they say that Tina Nolles, you guys remember I told you a couple of months ago that Tina Nolles had a autobiography that was coming out entitled Matriarch. Okay, well, the book is out now, and you know, she's talking more about what she's talking about in the book. And as you can imagine, she's talking about many things, her relationship with her husband, or with her ex-husband, Matthew Nolles, who is the father of her celebrity daughters, Solange and Beyonce Nolles. You know, so she's talking about being a mother to them, raising them to be the celebrities they are. You know, Beyonce going on to be a super duper mega celebrity. You know, Destiny's Child, what they went through, the hiatus and all that. You know, and just her life as she's getting through it as a senior citizen now, you know, remarrying and all that. You know, all that is in the book. Also in the book, she let folks know that she was diagnosed with stage 1 breast cancer last year, at the beginning of last year. Which, you know, that always makes me sad when I hear about those kind of things. Thank God it was stage 1. She was able to find it early. She said that she was a little late, actually. She was late on her mammogram because of the pandemic. You know, they were telling everybody they couldn't get their, you know, if it wasn't necessary, you didn't need to go to the hospital. So she hadn't had a mammogram, so she was reminded, and she went, and that's when she found out that she had stage 1 cancer. And she was glad that she caught it early. She said that her girls, you know, Beyonce and Solange and even Kelly, you know, that they were like her team, and they became very positive, and they were hands-on, and they wanted to make sure that, you know, that their mom was okay and that she was going to be all right. I know Kelly's not her mother. I mean, her daughter. For those of you that'll be like, Kelly's not her daughter. Somebody gonna say it, child. Somebody gonna say it. So, but yeah, she said that, you know, she's thankful that she did find out early. She didn't realize that there was a stage 0, but yeah, there is a stage 0. So she could have been even earlier, she thinks, if she, you know, not skipped it because of the pandemic. But always a reminder that people need to make sure that they get their mammograms, because cancer is no joke. And I told you guys that a doctor told me that most people will die of cancer. Most people. Cancer or heart attack. That's what a doctor told me. So she says that she was not born with the cancer gene, but they did find out that Matthew Nolles actually was born with the cancer gene. And apparently he had breast cancer at one point. I think I read that correctly. He had it back when he was younger. So Beyonce and Solange will have to make sure that they pay attention to their boobies, which I'm sure that they do, you know, being responsible for themselves and their health. They have a lot of people that count on them. So I always wonder, like, when you see celebrities and you think about celebrities having to just always entertain, you always wonder about, like, their personal lives, and, you know, when they don't make the decision to let people know about some health scares that they may have, and like what they really go through behind closed doors and all that. Sometimes it's just a thought that pops in my mind. Remind you that people are real people out there. You know, we look at them as entertainers, but folks is living their real regular lives. Folks got co-payments and HMOs and go to see doctor appointments and all that, just like the rest of us. So, but glad to hear that Tina is doing well. doing much better. Okay. All right. Let's move on to the next story. Did I say she was cancer free? She's cancer free. Okay. Which is always good for cancer. All right, you guys, next, just a little bit of politics. Not really. I just wanted to talk to you guys about these student loans. Did you guys notice that they are about to start getting back on top of these student loan payments that most of us haven't had to pay since the pandemic? People had still been pretty much not paying student loans and getting them deferred and pushed back and things like that, waiting to see what the courts was going to say when Biden's administration was trying to, pay off, do a lot of loan forgiveness. It just kind of threw the whole student loan program into chaos a little bit. So they hadn't really been enforcing really much of anything over there, but now I guess YSAP and his junk drawer is letting everybody know that starting on May 1st, they are going to, or at the very beginning parts of May, they're going to send out emails and letting people know that they have 30 days to get their affairs in order, basically, when it comes to their student loan payments. And if they are defaulted on their student loan payments, that they are going to start doing wage garnishments. Okay. I've seen videos going around where they're talking about how easy or difficult wage garnishing is, and whether that is going to be something that is going to be on the very front or back burner of the administration, depending on what they feel like doing or whatever. But there are people out there that likes to believe that wage garnishment is just a threat, and it's probably an empty threat because it's more work than they would need to do to get to all of the people. Let me just give you guys some stats. They say about 5.6 million American people were in default of their student loan by the end of 2024. You go into default when you haven't paid a student loan payment in 270 days. They say 4 out of 10 borrowers, only 4 out of 10 borrowers are current on their student loan payments. So people have not only have people not been paying their student loans because of the pandemic, but it looked like people probably just was not fucking with them student loans no more. Okay, even after the pandemic being over, people just was not trying to get back to paying them. And you guys know I was really adamant trying to get everybody to try to get their student loans forgiven while the getting was good, because I knew that once YSAP got back in office, that all of that playtime was fixing to be over, and that if it was going to be any chance of getting that done, it would have needed to have been done before now. So now we are in now, and not only are they not doing forgiveness, but they about to start taking the money that you working hard for now, okay, out your account. All right, so yeah, insult to injury, you guys. They are also telling people that there are still a lot of repayment programs that might help you, might lower your payments. Sometimes you might not even have to pay anything, depending on what your overhead is for your entire household and all that. There are programs there. I think that a lot of people, just the fact that they have a student loan, they don't have the money, that they just automatically avoid calling to find out what these programs can be. But I always tell my kids, like, that's the worst thing you can do, is to avoid. Yes, it is stressful, when you have people that are calling you trying to work out things with you when it comes to finances, but if they don't know nothing, they have to make the assumptions on their own. When you reach out to them and talk to them, then at least there's some communication there, and they can know at least that you're not trying to run away from them, like you're not trying to get away from them. And then they're willing to work with you a little bit longer. They may give you, so there's things that you can do, but just flat out, like, I'm not talking to them, I'm not calling, I'm ignoring. That's like always a recipe for disaster. And you can take that lesson for anything, not necessarily just in this situation. Just like when shit is bad and it's bad, instead of running from it, confront it and see if you can try to work something out to get it resolved. Okay? All right. But yeah, you guys, that student loan situation, like everything else, is just a mess. I just saw that YSAP said now he pulling back on the whole China tariffs thing. I was just like, if he ain't a fucking Gemini, I know something. When is YSF's birthday? He probably not know. Is he a Gemini? I feel like he might be. Like, he just, one day it's this thing, it's another. It's like YSF and Kanye might actually be the same person. Like, have we seen them in the same room at the same time? Anyway, you guys, that's that on that. Y'all let me know what you thought about all that, and I'm gonna get on off of here. All right, y'all, I'm at Chipotle. Fixing to run in here, give me something to eat, and then take it on back to work. We do this every single week, so make sure you thumbs up the video, comment, and subscribe, and make sure you come back.